Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at some body armor that I recently purchased. So we'll start off by talking about why I purchased the body armor in the first place. Then we'll do a brief unboxing and take a look at the quality. After that I'll go ahead and fit it and put it all together and check for comfort. And then finally we'll wrap up with my overall thoughts and future plans. So I've been considering this purchase for several years now, but I've always put it off. I mean, body armor is really expensive. It seems frivolous and unnecessary for the average Joe. So, you know, I would hope that I would never need body armor, so why bother buying it? On the other hand, if we think about that fire extinguisher in our garage, we've probably never used that. So why did we buy that in the first place? Perhaps a more relevant analogy would be Captain Isaac Davis, the leader of the Acton Minutemen. Captain Davis made sure that his men were equipped with cartridge boxes and bayonets, items that prior to April 19th, 1775, served no purpose in their everyday lives. I would imagine that they hoped they would never need them. So this body armor is kind of like that. And we'll just leave it there. So let's take a look at what we've got. So everything came from RTS Tactical, and it was packaged neatly in this box. UPS had the weight at just under 25 pounds, I think, but we'll double check the actual weight once we have it all put together. Now all of these plates are rated 3+. And we'll see if I can get that to focus in. Yeah, so 3+, they should stop pretty much just about any of the common threats out there. So they should be perfect for my needs. Now, if you thought that I was going to put that to the test, you came to the wrong channel. So I'm no Mr. Guns and Gear. So what you see is what I bought. But I will say those other channels have put this stuff to the test, and it seemed to be just about as good as anything else out there. I did spend the extra money and got the anti-spall buildup coat, and it's a pretty nice, even finish. And from what I've seen in testing on other channels, it's well worth the extra money. Now the front and back plates are 10 by 12, while the side plates are 6 by 8. And we'll see if that's big enough to go all the way around my pretty substantial girth. But it's what I've got to work with. Turning to the carrier, they offer both black as well as multicam. And to me, the multicam seemed to be the more practical of the two. And I'm not really a multicam hater anyway, so I'm happy with that. The material is really heavy synthetic, and it's sewn together really nicely. It's just really high quality. Of course, there's moly webbing all the way around on the cummerbund, front and back, and of course you got the Velcro up here for the obligatory smart-ass patch. Yeah. For attachment around the waist, there's a cummerbund. And then on the inside, there's a secondary set of straps. And I would assume those are there if you weren't running side plates. You could take the cummerbund off and just use those secondary straps. Up in the shoulders, they're attached with Velcro and buckles. Looks like there's plenty of strap there for adjustment. So I should be able to get it to fit. And then in between, there's a drag handle. Now if we look to the inside, let's go ahead and get these straps undone. We'll flip it inside out. There's a substantial amount of padding, both on the front as well as the back, and in the shoulders. And the padding is covered with ventilated material so that it can all breathe. Now, I'm no armor expert. When I served in the Army, the only thing we had was flak vests, and those things probably wouldn't even stop a rimfire. However, from what I can see, this is some really high quality gear, and I'm happy with it. All right, well, let's go ahead and put the plates in and see how it all looks together. All right, so my camera battery died. So I've got that charging again now. So let's go ahead and put these plates in. I've never had armor, so I'm not 100% sure the best way to go about doing this. But I guess I will start with the front and back plates. And I think what's going to have to happen is I'll have to have it on me and adjusted properly to figure out where the pouches, the side plate pouches, go on the cummerbund. So let's go ahead and get started with the front and back plates. So I guess I can get rid of this tag. All right. And we've got a pocket with a flap, Velcro, and two buttons, two snaps. And then inside we have a separate strap. And there's actually separated pockets inside there. My assumption would be that the divider, I don't know if you can see that divider in there. Let's try and get it to where you can see in. There's a divider in here that I believe the plate would go on the outside of that divider, and then if you had a trauma pad, I'm guessing that would go on the inside. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then there's Velcro on the front and back for this strap. And I think that's just another support system to help keep the panel in there. So I could probably get started by fastening this to one side. Like that. And then I'm guessing it just goes over the plate like that. All right. So let's slide the plate in there. All right. And put this over, push down tight. All right, yep, so that's not going anywhere. And then we can fasten the main flap. All right, so the front plate is in. Let's do the back. And same thing, Velcro flap, 2 snaps, and the same internal configuration. So this is a little bit of a pain in the butt. Velcro's trying to grab everything. Ah, it's angled. And now it's angled the other way. This is really a pain in the ass. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, slide the plate in there. Okay, and the main flap. All right, so that's our front and back plates. Now, like I said, before I can figure out where those side plates are going to go, I'm going to have to start fitting it to myself and get an idea of how that cummerbund lines up. So let me adjust my camera angle and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so that looks pretty good. You should be able to see everything. I will say I'm not using my my lapel mic anymore. I'm using the shotgun mic, so it may sound a little different, but hopefully you can hear me okay. It's just kind of a necessity of trying stuff on. All right, so I've got the straps adjusted to where they were when it arrived, and looking at it and all the dog hair all over it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to lengthen those. But I'll go ahead and try to put it on. Like I said, never had armor, so this is interesting. And see where it's at. Now, everything that I've seen online seems to indicate that the plates should sit at the same height, front and back. And I'm not sure if they do. Let's see. Looks like the back's a little bit higher. And then the front is supposed to go right about where the collarbones are. And I think it's just a little bit too high right now. So I'm going to go ahead and lengthen it a little bit. It's actually not that far off though. Inches. See what that does. That's pretty even. Again, the back is a little high. Guess that's about right there. And then, yeah, it's actually pretty good, I think. All right. So let's try and fasten the cumberland. Let's see where that goes. Some serious Velcro right there. Oh, you know what? Got these little straps. Just we'll fasten those and snug them down. Maybe. And we can roll that loop up later. There's actually a keeper for it right here, so we can roll it up and make it neat later. For now, we'll just get it fit pretty close, if I can get it out from under the keeper. A little bit looser over here. Not that easy to adjust. We'll say that. Probably easier to do this if you had a second person. Alright, now for the cummerbund. Now, from what I've heard, you should actually feel the armor when you breathe. So it should be snug enough that it's pressing against your chest. Not super tight, but enough that you definitely feel it there. And I can feel it. So I think it's probably adjusted pretty close to where it should be. Almost feel like the back is a little bit low. It's difficult for me to see though, so I may have to do some more adjusting on it at some point. I think that's pretty close right there. Now a check, they said to raise your arms and make sure that it doesn't hit you in the chin, and it doesn't. Said jump around a little bit and move and make sure it's not sliding around, and it's not. I think I got it pretty close. All right. So now I can actually look to the side and get an idea of where that side plate goes. And it's obviously it's going to have to be somewhere in the middle of the cummerbund. Unfortunately, like I said, this is not easy to do by yourself. But I believe if I just look at how this is fastened, get it back into the same spot with it off of me, then I can just put the pouches on the center of the cummerbund. So that's what I'm going to do. Looks like there's about maybe a ½ inch gap, maybe between a 1/4 and a ½ inch gap between those two tabs there. So that's what I'm going to do. about there is where it was. All right. So now, let's adjust that camera angle down a little better. Try to. So now I just want to try and get that side plate pouch centered on this cummerbund here. So the plate comes in through here, and there's a flap. So I'm assuming the opening faces up. It goes something like that right there. All right. You know, it really would have been nice if this had come with some instructions. I guess they assume everybody knows how to put armor together. I don't happen to be that guy, though. Alright, well, I'm just going to try and weave these down through there and see how it looks. So I've got about three loops on each side. So that's pretty close to centered. So let's stick it in here, start weaving it. Now what's interesting is I would have expected there to be some sort of Velcro or snaps at the bottom of these straps, and there's not. So I guess you just weave it and leave it hanging out the bottom. All right, there's that side. Alright, now I'm assuming that's how that goes. I'll go ahead and put the other side on. I won't bore you with that. It goes on just the same way. So I'll be right back once I have that on there. Alright, so I got both of those pouches fastened to the cummerbund, so I'm going to go ahead and slip the plates in there now. And once again, the Velcro is not cooperating. I gotta say, it's not my favorite design. This is kind of a pain in the butt. Yep, I'd like to find the engineer that came up with this and kick his butt. That's stupid. Alright, well, that's reasonably good. Let's go ahead and get the other one. Say, this thing's starting to get a little hefty. It'll be interesting to see what it's like to carry this all day. Alright, here they are, side plates. Pretty nice gap between the plates. I hope nobody shoots me there. Alright. Yeah, she's hefty. Now, let's put it back on and see what it's like. Oh, I gotta twist it. All right. Let's get this camera back up. There we go. Here it is. Again, quite the gap there between the side plates and the front and back plates. And maybe that's just because I'm fat. I don't know. Definitely gonna have to roll these straps up. But I do believe that that's how it goes. So now I'm curious how much this weighs. So I think I'm going to go get the bathroom scale, and I'll weigh myself without it, and then I'll weigh myself with it. We'll try to figure out how much it weighs. So I'll be right back. All right, so here's my weight without the armor. So it looks like 253.4. All right. Let's put the armor on and see what it is after that. Alright, I got the armor on. Let's see what it is. $280.2. Alright, let's go do the math. Alright, so when I do the math, I'm coming out with 26.8 pounds. And I get it, bathroom scale is probably not the most accurate means of measuring the weight, but it's pretty accurate. Like I said, UPS had it at just below 25 pounds. I'm getting 26.8, so it's somewhere around 25, 26, maybe even 27 pounds. Regardless, it's pretty hefty, and in my current shape, as fat as I am, old as I am, I'm going to struggle to carry this around all day, so I'll have to work on that. But overall, really high quality stuff. The fit is wonderful. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Their pricing is really competitive when I compared it to some of the other companies. And it came really fast too. There was very little delay. So I'm really happy with it. What's in store for the future? I would like to get trauma pads at some point. It's funny because on RTS's site, when I search for them, they don't seem to sell them. So I may have to go elsewhere to get those. I also need to get magazine pouches for my AR. And I have a med kit that I need to attach to it. So I'll have to figure all that out, how I want to arrange all that stuff on here. But I've got a really good start, and then at some point, once I get it all put together, I can actually start training with it. Go out and see what it's like to shoot my AR with this on, what it's like to carry it around for a more extended period of time. I will say I do wish that they had an instruction manual, and I'll probably poke around on the internet and see if I can find something to give me a better idea of how to set this up. I think I'll have to tweak the adjustment a little bit. Right now it seems to be still a little bit too low, so I might bring that up a little bit. But other than that, like I said, I've got a really good start on it, and I'm very happy with the product. So if you liked the video, click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, and I'll talk to you later.